Good evening, friends, followers, and channel members. Boy, what are you guys all doing up? Oh, it is a late one. I am awake, and thought, why not do a late flight? We know we've got loads of subscribers in the USA and Canada, etc. So give them a chance to see us live at a reasonable time of day to them. Only a short flight this evening, about 50 minutes, as we take our Easyjet aircraft from Mallorca. Palma De Mallorca, where we landed. It was that yesterday, day before, can't remember. And yeah, we're going up to Toulouse, so about 50 minute 1 hour flight, but still real up, so we'll still be doing everything as real as we should do. So for Nick the rapper, good evening. Safety, good evening to you as well. So let's get rid of that and let's start heading on board. We've got lots to do. Need to do it safely, but we want to do it quickly. Our passengers are waiting, and they're probably grumpy because this flight's delayed or whatever. But that moon is looking fabulous. Let me just check that you guys can actually see my cursor. Oh, there we go. Now you can see what I'm clicking away at. There we go. Dark, wow, good evening. You're already drunk and ready for bed. Or you can stick with us, or you can continue drinking throughout the late night flight. We're not on VATSIM or anything like that, purely because, well, there's no air traffic controls online, so there really was no point. I've just realised the night bot is not expecting a late night stream, so let me just kick him into touch for a moment, as he's still giving duff information. Bear with me, let me get rid of that. That's fine. And the route today, as I've just said, let me just type that in. So the route today is Palma de Mallorca to Toulouse. There we go. Nightbot's awake and working again. Wonderful. So let's get some lights. What's the battery showing? 26.9, which is really nice. The fact that these change now every time. Well, look, they're not exactly the same, which is really nice. Really nice. Let's have a look at getting those batteries on as well. I'm going to turn on the dome light actually, so the moment we do that, then we get battery 1 and battery 2. Nick Bowes there, coming in with wow, such a generous £20 donation, Nick. I am amazing. Well, let's see if we both agree at the end of the flight. It's been a long day, and of course it's school holidays this week, so that means that we're even more groggy than usual. But Nick, thank you once again for your continued support. It's very much appreciated. So let's get you to your destination quickly. Plenty of free booze for you tonight, Nick. Plenty of free booze for you. Right, so there we are, Mallorca. Good weather in Mallorca, I think, as well this evening. Let's get our username stored. I've not actually updated since the last time I did this. I don't know why we have to put it in each time. So let's just pop that in and go to the dashboard. Link from SimBrief. There we go. So ground power unit. External power is coming. We can start getting those baggage on as well. Catering, we're going to need lots of catering. In fact, we'll just bring the catering truck for Nick. Nick deserves everything that we can get for him this evening. Yeah, still seeing that beautiful orange as well. We are in the Easter livery, of course, so that's great. TLMTV, Jesus in Germany is 27. Yeah, well, we're only an hour behind you, so it's coming up to about 11:30 here in the UK. We're on real time for a nice after dark flight this evening. Here comes our GPU once again at Just Sim's fabulous looking Palma de Mallorca airport. And where's this GPU going? The last time I had a rogue GPU, it kept crashing into baggage carts and things, which was hilarious but not very useful. Please don't damage my beautiful paintwork. Oh, there we go. That looks good. And we've got the cable connected as well. Right, so a little bit of APU before those batteries die out. We got the crew supply, oxygen supply on. Get those ideas aligned. Put some nav lights on, let them know we're here. Do our usual flows and everything. Dark new update stops the AFB working after clicking OFP. If not in the lineup for... well, strangely enough, Dark, I've not actually updated, so that sounds like a good idea that we've not done that. Chewy, good evening. Great to see you. Do you guys just all have your notifications turned on? Does it just bing away when we go live? Right, let's have a look at our fuel then, shall we? Fuel. Dispatch and fuel. So what do we need? Let's check. Let's bring this in. So planned bulk fuel of about 5.5 tons. 4569. 4569. Nick, I think what's probably happened with that is whenever they do an update, we test as many things as we can, but just occasionally some little problem sneaks through, and that sounds exactly what's happened there. Right, so this fuel 4569. Chat amongst yourselves. I'm going to type this in actually. Get it more accurate. 4569, so that's going to be a defueling amount then, isn't it? A defueling amount of 7 minutes. Defueling is commencing. There we go. Joey, have I seen that Navigraph have acquired SimBrief? No, I have not. That's very interesting. Well, I hope that doesn't mean anything nasty for people, because of course SimBrief is free at the point of use at the moment. Obviously you can update your Navigraph charts, which does cost, but one of the great things about... I think a car's just run over through my nose wheel. One of the great things about SimBrief is obviously that it's free and really, really nice, really easy to use. And I'm a big fan of the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's hope SimBrief don't go in and do anything daft. Let's hope not. Right, so whilst refueling is taking place, we'll keep the APU off, fuel pumps are off, and seatbelt signs still turned off, of course. However, have we got any sort of stairs or ramp? Nope, looks like our passengers are jumping on board. Fabian says it will remain free. Joey, you've said it will remain free as well. Oh, fantastic. Let's hope that's the case then, as long as it does remain free. I have missed that today. I've not seen any news regarding well, anything simulator wise today. Right, let's continue setting up. So everything's okay up here. We'll do the fire test as well. So number 1, that's good. Number 2, and of course the APU. Oh, close that. Let's not extinguish the APU. There we go. Right, that's all good. We've actually, Dark, we've also lost the clicks, the 3 clicks to let us know everything's set up and we're free to do the fire test as well. So don't know when that will come back in. Right, so the QNH here in Palma is 1022. Let's wind that up. Oh, too far. 1022, and the anti-skid is on as well. The clock is, oh, it must be malfunctioning. It can't be that late, surely. Let's come down here. VHF 2 and 1215 on the guard. I'm going to try and nip through these as fast as we can while still doing everything correctly, of course. There we go. 1215, spot on. And let's just see if we can stop that VHF wheel from toggling around, shall we? We've just got to get the mouse cursor in the right place to do that. There. As soon as we see it turn into that little arrow, then we're in the right place. Everything looks good down here. Everything looks like where it should. Okay, passengers, let's start to get on board. So the guy from SimBrief is now a developer with Navigraph. Yeah, well, the amount of work that he's put in, I don't doubt it. I mean, SimBrief is just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, that is exactly where our operational flight plans come from.
Cabin crew, we're all happy with how things are up here, so you can now open the doors and start letting our passengers on board. Thank you.
So Safety asks if it's possible to type something into the FB without sending commands to the sim. Yes, absolutely. So if you press on the right Alt key on your keyboard, you'll see if you're hovering over it, your mouse will turn into this little magnifying glass with a plus on it. You select that and it will open a window. So now you're typing into a window and not sending any commands at all to the simulator. It's brilliant, and that's the way to do it. So let's just close that down. So the pedestal's all set up. Let's come to the glare shield 1022 and flight directors 1 and 2 coming on. We'll put those constraints on as well, even though we've not got a flight plan loaded in just yet. Instrument panel then, PFD 1, PFD, in fact, you know what, we don't actually need them full brightness at night time. Let's turn the ECAMs up, IRS alignment in a couple of minutes. Oh, should we get the doors open? No passengers are boarding. I did wonder why, and then just saw on the bottom ECAM that the doors weren't actually open. Let's get our pushback helper app to sort that out. So give that a second, and that will start working. So let's get those main doors open. There we go. So passengers now coming on board. The ground crew is loading. Right, so seatbelt signs are still off as we're currently still defueling. That's fine. Let's come down to the FMGS, the McDo, let's pop that in. So, ATSU, AOC menu, GPS primary lost, let's clear that. Init press, and let's pull in the information from SimBrief. So let's pop that in. There we go, 54-minute flight. Back to the AOC menu, performance, weights and balance. We don't touch the fuel anymore, but we do need to have a look at our passenger weights. So let's check this. Oh, where have you gone? Come back, flight sim. There we are. Right, so a payload then of, if I just shrink this window a little bit, come back, there it is. So if I just shrink this window, there we are. So a payload of 17. In fact, why am I doing that? Don't need to do that anymore. Fly-by-wire have got this all made for us. It's on the operational flight plan on here, isn't it? So 17160, and the zero fuel weight is 58.2, zero fuel weight 58.2 rounded up, and the centre of gravity for the aircraft, zero fuel weight centre of gravity that is 26.9. So let's go ahead and change that. 26.9, 169 passengers. There we go. Let's send that load to the aircraft, and the aircraft is now loaded with the passenger weights and the cargo weights. So wonderful. Ferran, the scenery of LEPA looks great. Yeah, absolutely, it really does. Alex, hopefully I won't have the same issue with the pushback helper and the Simlink update. I guess we'll find out. I'm not sure I've updated anything though, to be fair, so hopefully that won't be an issue. Alright, so let's come to the data page, check the aircraft status. The aircraft status is all good, and if we look out the front window, do we have, I was hoping I'd have a nice little sign telling me what the GPS coordinates are, but alas, no, sadly not. Right, okay, tell you what, we can skip that, that's fine. So, init A, let's pop that information in. There we go, and just change the call sign to Easy34 Alpha Mike. The alternate's not being populated, that's okay. Let's zip over to the flight pad, let's get that. So Lima Fox Mike Lima. There we are. Cost index of 8, of course. Flight level 340 minus 50, 340 minus 55. We'll go ahead and just change that. And the Tropo 38150, Tropo is showing 39107. Clear, 39107. So that's the Tropo sorted. Let's just come back to that nav page, check the IRS. We've now got 3 nav green, now they've aligned, so that's cool. Flight plan then, let's have a look at our flight plan. So today we will be departing on runway 6 left via the Drago 3 November departure. So departure runway 6 left and Drago 3 November, there it is, and insert. And we shall be arriving in Toulouse 14 left by the Aspect 6 Sierra. So that's arrival runway 14 left ILS. and it is the, what did I say that was? The Aspect 6 Sierra. Aspect 6 Sierra. And let's just have a look what the fix is. Bernie, good day from Australia. Well, we're now streaming at a relevant time to you, my friend. That's why we're here doing this late night stream for you. So your Simlink prompted an update today, and ever since you're getting a crash to desktop on Pushback, easily fixed using the flight pad. Oh, fingers crossed that won't happen. Right, so our arrival into Toulouse. Let's have a look. Do we have an initial approach fix? What is the Aspect, which comes from here? Is it Sulit and Suras? Is it Suras that we'll be using today? There it is. So insert that, and that gives the distance of 290 miles and 317 miles. So about 27 miles difference there. That's close enough. That's okay. Okay. Happy with that then. Let's come down, have a look at the RadNav page. Anything we particularly need to put in for our departure out of Mallorca? Well, we can put the Mallorca VOR in there. That's fine. 8 miles from oh, actually we want to put the Palma San Juan VOR in, probably more than Mallorca one, isn't it? So basically we depart, and think of this as a bit of a departure briefing. We basically depart once we get to 8 miles away. We start this left turn, and that should be around a 15-mile arc. So we'll get those both in, the Mallorca and the St. John VOR, in case we have to fly raw data for whatever reason. So fair, no top of the descent is not yet implemented, not in this aircraft anyway. So we're going to put the St. John VOR in number 1, Juliet Oscar Alpha. And then we'll put the Mallorca VOR in number 2, Mike Juliet Victor. Mike Juliet Victor. Check those frequencies are correct. 1133, 1177, spot on. Just as they should be. Okay, so RadNav page, we're happy with that. Let's come to our init B. Zero fuel weight then today was 58.2. Zero fuel weight center of gravity was 26.9. Oops, 26.9. Trip wind is H19, so a slight headwind today overall. And if we hit the fuel planning button, let's hope we see something around the 4.5 ton mark. So fuel planning 7.7. That wasn't supposed to happen. Right, we need some more fuel. Get that fueling truck back. Right, fueling just completed. Unlucky for you. Stay where you are, Mr. Fueling Truck. Right, 7.7 tons. Another 4 minutes. We're now refueling. Maybe we should have done that before starting the refueling, just in case. But I do know fly-by-wire have updated the engines, so they're a little bit more realistic now with their fuel burn. Damien, which airlines I'm hoping to get added into the MFS? Well, as an Airbus boy, looking forward immensely to the A380, and I'd like to see a good quality A350. That would be really nice to see. Okay, so we can confirm that block fuel, that's what we'll be taking. So our takeoff weight now is 62.8. Right, let's go ahead and look at our performance calculations. 62.8. Let's have a look. So it is 62.8, runway 6 left, and let's see, do we need to take the full length of this runway 6 left? Can we perhaps take it short, save our taxi time? November 6 maybe? So November 6 gives us a takeoff run of 2,460 feet. Well, let's have a look and see if that matches up. What does that say? 2,460. Runway 6 left, 2460 from taxiway November 6. Okay, let's see if we can do that with a flex temp takeoff or whether that needs to be togered. We will have the packs off, anti-ice will be off, runway is dry. Calculate. That seems to be taking a while, doesn't it? Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. A flex temp we can do. It will be 67 degrees. Lovely. Okay, well now that's all set up and looking good. We're happy with that. Fine, so right now there's no need to set any fuel parameters in Flight Sim. It's all done. Well, SimBrief doesn't load it. Well, SimBrief can load it automatically if you want, but I now prefer to use the flypad as it refuels it in real time, which is much more realistic. Good, let's just check our alternate fuel on the operational flight plan. It's telling us the alternate fuel for that is an amount of 1.5. So we'll just update that, 1.5. There we go. So that predicted fuel when we get there is an estimated fuel on board of half a ton. That's a bit low. That's very low. Is that because we're still refueling? Oh yes, it will be. That's why. Well, that's why that estimated fuel on board at Toulouse is increasing. Okay, fair enough. So to our takeoff performance page then. So transition altitude here in Palma. Do we have it given to us on here? Transition altitude is 6,000 feet. Let's pop that in. There we go. So transition altitude 6,000 feet. Our initial stop climb altitude on the departure is maintained 6,000 feet. So unless cleared by air traffic control. Minimum safe altitude as well is 5,500 feet. In fact, no, it's not. It's 7,000 feet, given this little sector that we fly through here. So we really want to get up as quickly as possible from that. So up and away, nice and quickly. All right, so that's that put in. Alex, yeah, you can load the fuel and payload by the Atsu. To be fair, you still could do with the... It's still easy to load the payload by the Atsu. But the fuel loading is really nice and neat on the tablet now to give you a realistic loading time. So, for instance, we're still loading fuel now while the passengers are getting on board, which is neat. Flaps 1 for takeoff. Noise abatement 1 departure here. So, I was checking these charts before we took off. We have... thrust reduction at 1,500 feet, and it will be 3,500 feet the acceleration. Our flex temp is 67, and let's calculate those V speeds. So 137, 133, 132. So once we pass 1,500 feet, we want to target about 157, around 157 knots, 155, 157 knots. To hold that, so keep the pitch up. Be interesting to see how the new autopilot actually with 5-hour deals with the noise abatement 1 departure. I've not done one just yet, so that's quite neat. Right, so that's all done. Let's have a look at the oh, that's what I was waiting for. Passengers now boarded. Perfect timing. In that case, we'll get the doors all closed. And we'll get the seatbelt signs on. Is refueling complete? Actually, refueling is not yet complete. Seatbelt signs back off.
Welcome on board our Easyjet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
That's great, thank you.
Okay, so just while I'm finishing off with the refueling, let's do our departure briefing. So if we don't have a problem, the weather's great here. No light wind, great, nice long runway for if we have a problem to return. Obviously, if we do have a problem, I would be requesting from air traffic control that we actually fly either straight out or to the south. We'd not follow the departure procedure just because of the terrain that we've got. We don't want to have to deal with that as well. So I would want to come back round to the south via the Mallorca VOR and come back in. Another reason why we've popped that into the RadNav page in case we needed it. So no problems with landing. We're also well below the maximum landing weight as well for takeoff, so don't need to run that. Any threats to be aware of? Of course, it's a noise abatement 1 departure. We've also got high terrain to the north of us after takeoff, so we need to be on the ball and aware of that. Transition altitude 6,000 feet. Our initial stop climb is 6,000 feet as well. Minimum safe altitude 7,000 feet. So if air traffic control was on land, they would of course probably give us a much higher altitude to climb to rather quickly. And thrust reduction 1,500, acceleration 3,500. Donovan, for something fun, can I take off from Sicker Cruise and land at Orlando? Sicker Cruise is your hometown. Okay, well I do take route requests, but the route requests are reserved really for the channel members. So that's how we're going to roll with that departure. How's that refueling coming along? Oh, very nearly finished. We'll just check that over here. And refuel is now complete. Excellent. Let's get those seatbelt signs on. Get the fuel pumps on. We can start the APU as well. And we can also start that rotating beacon light. So, once the APU is on, we'll say goodbye to the GPU and we'll run the before start checklist. Farhan, yeah, so noise abatement procedures are usually found on the charts. And different airlines have different SOPs for those. Many airlines for thrust reduction use 1,500 feet above the aerodrome level. Easyjet don't. Easyjet use 1,000 feet. Saves money quicker. Right, let's see. How's that APU coming? APU is available. Let's get the APU bleed on. Let's disconnect the external power. And I believe as we do that, does the GPU move away on his own? Probably not. We'll probably have to tell him to go away. There we go. Disconnect the ground power. And off he goes. Excellent. So cockpit preparation is all complete. Our signs are on and auto. The ADIRs are aligned. We've confirmed 3 nav green. Fuel quantity we checked is loaded. Just check that's balanced as well, which it is. FMGS is all programmed in. And altimeter 1022 is set and cross-checked. Very well, so we've already done our departure briefing, so we get our pushback clearance. Let's have a look on the ground charts where we're going. So we're going to push back from stand, I believe we're at stand 115, which is a remote stand out here. Push back facing west, we'll then taxi down. We can either take Echo or Delta, but it's November 6th that we're lining up at, November 6th. So that's where we want to be aiming for. Right, so there's our pushback clearance. Rotating beacon light is already on, and tug driver is coming, so there's the nose wheel. Steering is disconnected. Accubrake pressure is in the green. Put that transponder to auto. And the before start checklist below the line. So windows and doors are closed and armed as indicated by the slide. Rotating beacon light is on. Parking brake is also on. Excellent. Looks like we're about ready to push back and engine start. So I'm going to release that parking brake, and back we'll start going.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself, the first officer, and the cabin crew, may I welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft for your flight today. The ground crew and the fueling crew have all finished, and we're just about finished with all our cockpit preparation up here. The cabin crew are making their final checks as they work through the cabin, so if you could please get yourselves sat down comfortably with your seatbelts securely fastened and give them their full attention as they begin their safety briefing. A big welcome on board today to our Easyjetsimpilot members, who of course are welcome to free complimentary drinks throughout the flight. Once we reach our cruising altitude, our cabin service will commence and the cabin crew will be able to provide you with drinks,
Ladies and
snacks
gentlemen, we
and
now
merchandise
ask for your attention while we take you through the safety
Once
procedures
again,
on this
I'd like to
aircraft.
thank you for
A safety
choosing to
card
fly
is in your
with
seat
Easyjet
pocket,
today.
showing the exit routes,
We'll have an update for you
oxygen
when we are
masks,
airborne.
life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray tables must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with Easyjet.
Okay, so engine 2 is now stabilized. Let's get the aircraft all cleaned up. No anti-ice required. And on the spoilers, flaps 1, set the trim, which is 26.9. That's spot on again, isn't it? That's twice we've had it almost spot on, which is a little bit unrealistic, but never mind. 26.9. Do you know what? We probably don't even need to move that. That's within the green and happy. So the after start checklist. Anti-ice is off. Ecam status is checked. Pitch trim 26.9 and confirm rudder trim is set 0. There we go. Alright, so we're now clear to disconnect. Said the tug driver on his way. Off he goes. Once that pushback is clear, oh, is he already done? He wants to get home to bed. It's far too late for him. Let's get the taxi light on. And so we're going to taxi, we're just here, we're going to taxi onto Echo and then down to November 6. Ah, Christian, good evening. What's happening? Has the missus banned me from bed? No, I just didn't get a chance to do a flight today and I was having withdrawal. So the taxi light's on. Let's get the parking brake on. There we go. Ronald, our destination is to Toulouse. So full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, full left, neutral. Parking brake released. Off we go. So this is really nice to see. I don't know if you guys are watching the upper ECAM, but things like the exhaust gas temperature are now no longer synchronized. They're exactly the same. They were exactly the same, but now they're much more realistic. Safety, don't you have moving maps on? No, don't need moving maps. So this is onto taxiway Echo, and then we're on the north taxiway, which I believe at one point used to actually be a runway down here. Don't do a lot of nighttime streams, but I think the simulator warrants it sometimes. It looks so nice. Right, so whilst we're on the straight and narrow, let's get that on. Let's get that on. Let's set that to max. Ding the cabin. TO config. Just dim those lights a little bit. I'll turn those off for takeoff. And so this is this November 3 down here? Either way, it's no entry. Yeah, that's November 3 with the no entry sign. So we'll have November 3, then it'll be November 4, November 5, and then we enter via November 6. And yeah, this taxiway north, I'm sure it used to be a runway. Long time gone by. There's the no entry for November 4. So as we're doing this rollout, then let's just check a couple of things. We want to make sure that our performance hasn't changed, which it hasn't. Engine out procedure, we know we've said we'll return here if there's any problems. There shouldn't be, but we will be going to the little bump in the taxiway there. We will be flying south to avoid terrain rather than the northern terrain, which we're going to be avoiding instead. So that's north 5. Is that north 5? So that's taxiway Charlie. This is November 6, so this is our exit point. So the departure matches what we've got in the FMGC, and our stop altitude 6,000 feet, which matches what we've got in the FCU. All set. So the before takeoff checklist to the line. Flight controls are checked. We've just done the departure briefing, just gone over that. And FMA takeoff data is 132 blue, 137 magenta, climb nav blue, 6000 blue, 1 FD2, and 67 degrees flex temp. All's looking good with that. Transponder is set. ECAM memo takeoff no blue. Electronic flight bag is stowed. All is looking well there. So just check the temperature of the brakes. They're looking absolutely fine, and the approach path will be fine as well, as I have no other aircraft flying with me tonight. And we're about ready to line up. So just before we do, let's get our lights on. So strobe lights, runway turn off lights, takeoff lights, nose wheel turn off lights, engine mode select norm, TCAS, TARA, tilt above, transponder on as well. All is set, anti-ice not required. We can turn packs 1 and 2 off. There we go. So takeoff checklist below the line, cabin secured for takeoff. Well, it isn't. It is in the simulator. It is not on self-loading cargo, so let's just give them a heads up. Engine mode selector is as required. TCAS, TARA, tilt above, packs are off, and anti-ice is off. What does 1FD2 mean, please, Jacob? You're just confirming that flight directives both 1 and 2 are turned on. That's all that means. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn those screens off, actually, just save on some frame rates. Okay, let's line up. Once again, just as we do go out to line up, just remember when looking to make our left turn after 8 miles from the Joan VR. Christian, you just did 3-hour streams today without audio. Did nobody let you know? Is it just me, or have I just gone over some sort of huge bump? That's looking neat, isn't it? I like that. Looking great. Okay, so all's looking good. Final checks, just scan everything, make sure everything is where it should be. Packs are off. Let's roll. So, remember thrust reduction 1,500 feet, and then we keep the nose up. So, start the chrono at takeoff, set 50% N1 thrust, and now set takeoff thrust. Manflex, SRS, runway should be displaying.
100 knots, check.
And V1, rotate. Pitch up 15 degrees.
Positive right, gear up.
Just going to have to turn that brightness down a bit. So thrust reduction coming in about 200 feet. There we go. So we're now at thrust climb. And let's get that nose up. We should be holding about 155 knots. So quite a sharpish angle there. There we go. We're losing speed. That's fine. That's fine. So we're now at 20 degrees. We're now actually at acceleration altitude, so let's lower that nose and start to increase our speed as we climb away. Stop climbing 6,000 feet. We're at 4,100 feet. Let's get those packs back on. 1 and 2. Speed trend is positive. Should have turned VOR 1 and 2 on beforehand, but the departure looks to be correct. We're at 4.3 miles away. And now lowering that nose off for 6,000 feet. We're at S speed, so now we can clean up, flaps up. Ground spoilers disarmed. And I'm sure in the real world now air traffic control would tell us to climb at a heading of climb at an altitude of, take your pick. We'll select flight level 240. So we can continue to climb again now. So we're still on that runway heading until we get to about 8 miles, which is coming up just now. And then we'll make this left-hand turn. So there we go, 8 miles past, left-hand turn coming up. And there's Mallorca by nightlight. Looking very nice. So it's actually quite a sharp turn that they've got you doing there. That 15-mile DME arc from the Mallorca VOR. We're actually at 17 miles, so we're a bit far out.
Keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time.
Strangely enough,
includes e-cigarettes.
We haven't seemed to go to 250 knots. There we go. That's just clicked back in. That was strange. We completely broke that speed. We do know that the autopilot at the moment, this custom autopilot version, does have a few bugs. But that's a new one. I've not seen that happen before, to be honest with you. Safety, no. Just mention that. Okay, what we're actually going to do now is, if I just zoom out on the arc, I'm going to go direct to Pinto now. So direct Pinto, insert, and we can pop that autopilot on. So autopilot 1 is now engaged. We're past 10,000 feet. Check the progress. Flight level 340 planned, and it's below the maximum, so flight level 340. Pop that in on the FCU, and 340 blue. Flight level 340. Now we've gone standard pressure. Alex N. Speed says that the speed constraints are not implemented yet. No, so any speed constraints that are or should be programmed into the as part of the SID are not implemented yet. However, the aircraft has always since its release targeted 250 knots below 10,000 feet. This didn't just then, which is a little bit strange. First time we've seen that. Anyway, 17,000 feet. Let's release that cabin crew. Oh, Nick, that'd be great if it kept the coffee cup. I have to update that every time. Let's get those landing lights off as well. We don't need any lights on at this altitude. So I'm just looking at the fuel flow now. That's much more realistic. Anywhere between around 2 and 3 tons an hour, I think, is where it should be. It could perhaps be a little bit higher. Just keep an eye on the air temperatures. We're coming up through this cloud layer, so we will pop the anti-ice on. There's something strange taking place on the navigation display at Dragno. What's happening there? Is Dragno in twice for some reason? Almost seems like the entire flight plan has been popped in twice. That's strange. Right, okay, well, not to worry. So after Dragno we should be going to Papas and then Res VOR, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, and if need be we'll just go direct. Jedis Thor, yeah, you're quite right. The username does stay stored in the McDo, so interesting that it doesn't stay stored on the fly plan. Right, seatbelt signs are coming off. You are now free to move around the cabin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign has now been turned on. You are now free to move around the cabin and the toilets are now available. However, when in your seat, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
So for some reason it appears that all the waypoints have been popped in twice. All we'll do is we'll follow it through and go direct towards the last one. Mr. Gecko 94, so the special Easyjet Easter livery that we are supporting this evening, I might show you that in the daylight once we get on the ground in Toulouse, because it looks amazing. It's done by Christian. So this livery is only available to channel members. Christian, so I'm using still -20. But then the aircraft told me that we were a couple of tons underneath, so we added that in. Overpressure says press F4 to complete every checklist. Well, I don't use digital checklists, I use the real world ones. So, passing flight level 270 in a moment. Short flight, so that cabin service better commence nice and quickly, hadn't it?
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
So drinks are on the way, guys. And I need to keep an eye on this route, which looks completely messed up. Just keeping an eye on the air temperature there. It's starting to drop below -40, so a couple of degrees more, we'll get that anti-ice off. Oh, it's so late, I'm going to have to do my best not to yawn into the mic. Yeah, so if you look now, guys, talking about the fuel burn, we're still climbing. Still climbing, and we're only showing about 1.6 tons of fuel being burnt. It should be double that, really. or maybe a little bit under, but yeah, still not quite accurate enough. So we're close to passing flight level 30. High level cloud. And what's that temperature doing? That's dropped far enough. We can get the anti-ice off. Mr. Gecko 94, I've been watching for a while since booting the sim up again since launch. PC currently struggles, so oh yeah, we all know that feeling. Right, let's check where we're going now. We're going direct Paphos, that's correct. So guys, whilst we're in the cruise, if you'd love to do me a little favour and just hit the like button on the stream, that would be most appreciative. It is of course free, and it just helps with our rankings on YouTube. So flight level 210. Christian, what it may be actually is I've not updated this for a couple of days, so there's a good chance that's why. Right, so we're now direct Paphos. What I want to do is I'm going to scroll through the flight plan and find the last Paphos in the flight plan, because I think it's in there 2 or 3 times. There's... oh, that's the second time. There's the third time. Right, let's do that. So direct to, let's call it Paphos 3, shall we? 1, 2. Surus is in there twice as well, which is a little bit strange. And how many times is is Toulouse in there? We're only landing there once. Right, let's pop that in. So that should take us direct to Paphos. There it is. Hopefully we'll only be there once. CNA, we do fly to America quite a bit, particularly on long haul Monday flights. Christian, what's that, my friend? I still have UTC in the flight plan showing. It now counts down as time in the newest version. Are you talking about the operational flight plan, or are you talking about the one on the McDo? Oh yeah. So we should be there for midnight. UTC time, of course. That's 1 AM here in the UK. Valley, what's a normal pitch to fly at this level? I will bear in mind we're still climbing, so we're still going to be pitched nose up. But 2-3 degrees pitched up is not excessive. Also depends on your weight as well. Christian, I'm not going back to Easter Island again. Mac Alt Star. And now we're at Alt Cruise. Cruising flight level reached. And we're about 18 minutes into our flight. So, 18 minutes into the flight. We should be at Paphos in just a second. Let's check how that marries up with our operational flight plan then. So down here. Where are we? Oh, there we go. 17 minutes into the flight plan. We should have at least 3.1 tons remaining. We've got 6.4. Well, in fact, that's well out, isn't it? We took 7.7, so that is going to be out. Nick says this is like the flight after the UK update. I can guarantee you this will not be going on as long as that. Dodge World, it's 5:23 for you PM. So whereabouts are you in the world, my friend? Alex, Fiji. I did think about that. Another remote island. We did cross a lot of ocean on that last long haul Monday flight. Perhaps we need to do something with a little bit of land beneath us. Ronald, no, you don't need the higher. You don't need the ice on at high altitude. You only need the ice on if your SAT temperature indicator down here is below. Is above -40, and if you're flying through visible moisture, which of course we're not. The clouds are now well and truly beneath us. So let's have a look what our arrival looks like on this navigation display. So it's just taking us backwards and forwards, isn't it? Backwards, oh good lord, what was that? Right, do you know what? One of the waypoints that we will probably end up flying direct to is this one here, Ogril. Let's have a look at the charts. Christian, yeah, I just need to oil it, I think. Can you hear that squeaking on the... Can you hear that squeaking? That's brilliant. Gives it an authentic feel when I'm twisting the dials in the flight deck. Let's have a look at the arrival. So the arrival begins at Aspet, as you can see just here. Then Ogril, Sulit. To Suraz, and then Suraz we fly heading 005. 078 and intercept the ILS for Toulouse. So let's crack on. We'll get the Toulouse VOR in the RadNav. Toulouse, of course, remember, if you've flown here before, the Toulouse VOR is nowhere near the airport. Well, it is, but you need to be aware of the distance between the two. So Tango Oscar Uniform. Tango Oscar Uniform. And we're 178 miles away. We can pop that on. That will actually help with our top of descent calculations. You're in New Mexico, USA, Dodge World. Fair play. Yeah, Christian, you know if I spray it with WD-40 it'll just stop working. We can now cycle the eCam pages as well, which is quite neat. They've managed to fix that. You can see everything working as it should. Actually, just go back to the conditions page. Yeah, 24 degrees. I thought for a moment then it was 0 degrees. That means you guys are all freezing. Alex, that's actually been coded in. I don't know if you've ever seen it in the sim, but it does happen occasionally. Usually on descent. Mr. Gecko 94, no, I don't have the Thrustmaster. I'd like to get it, but unfortunately, the kids keep costing money. Ramses, is there any air traffic control online at the moment? No, there's not, which is why I'm not even on VATSIM, just because I knew there was no one crazy enough to be online at midnight here in the UK. Talia Johnson, good evening. Right, well, from a descent planning point of view, let's have a look. So we want to be at flight level 80 at Suras. Ooh, where are we going to now? Just check we're flying a flight route that I'm expecting to fly. Sort of. Jordan, this is a late flight. Well, you know, Easyjet's a cheap airline, isn't it? So you have to take the flight slots when you can get them, so to speak. Right, so what? We're cruising at 34,000 feet. So to be at Suras at 8,000 feet, we're yeah, we'll start our top of descent probably around 80 miles away. So once again, our aircraft is just vaulting left and right to try and track that nav line. That's just a bug as part of the custom autopilot. Now then, let's get some weather for our destination, shall we? Apologies for the yawn. It is a little bit late. So let's send the weather request off, see what's happening. So whilst I'm waiting for that to come in, let's just have a look at our final approach from runway 14 left. And so we've got a platform altitude of 3,000 feet. Transition altitude here is 5,000 feet. Minimum safe altitude 3,000 feet. And the decision altitude is 689. 689, and the elevation of the runway is 489, so exactly 200 feet. Missed approach information. If anything goes wrong, climb on the 134 radial to Toulouse to a distance of 4.5 TG, which is just here. And turn left and climb to 4,000 feet. So missed approach altitude 4,000 feet is set. Alex, that's a possibility, mate. Those terrain spikes were all over the place. It's the weather radar on. I expected to see something. Yeah, of course it is. Nick, if I did a direct to the second carriers, would it sort out the flight plan? Is that where it seems to start doubling back from? Might do. I'll just check it through for now. As long as we get to aspect, that's the main thing. Right, that weather's now come in. Let's have a little look at what we're expecting here. Well, that looks pretty decent, doesn't it? Ceiling and visibility okay. Headwind of about 9 knots. QNH 1020. So if we get that all popped in on our performance page, so the QNH is 1020, temperature is 11 degrees, It's going to drop cold, isn't it, tomorrow? Well, compared to today. Today in the UK has been absolutely boiling. 150 at 9 for the wind, transition altitude 5,000 feet. And the Barrow decision altitude is 689. And we're all set.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an Easyjet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Wow, even at night time that wing looks very orange, Christian. Loving the Easter Easyjetsimpilot livery there. And in front of us looks like the border between France and Spain. Kelly Smith can't sleep either. Well, I just had withdrawal. It didn't seem right not doing a flight. Plus, it's nice to let our American friends watch a real-time flight at a reasonable hour. Alex, have I tested the CRJ update yet? Yes. I did a little flight this afternoon, just messing around really. One of the best things I found about it was the speed seemed a lot easier to control. Still can't fly the damn thing. Michael, do I ever fly a VOR? You mean a VOR approach in the A320? Do you know what? I'm not actually sure we have. I mean, I have done, but I don't know if we ever have on one of the live streams. I mean, the VOR approaches, even in the A320, are pretty... I'm not going to say easy. No, that's far too complacent. But with the track, you get them all automatically placed in, so you can see where it is or where it is you're meant to be following. So what I'm expecting to come very shortly, and I mentioned this, and it will be coming soon, is on the progress place we'll be able to type in Suras, which is the initial approach fix where I want to be at flight level 80. And to help me with my track miles, I'll actually be able to type that in, Suras there, and then it'll give us a bearing and a distance to it, and that'll help calculate our rate of descent. So that'll be quite nice. Bernard, we're heading just a short flight this evening up to Toulouse from Palma De Mallorca to Toulouse. Christian, you can make HG illuminate. Well, Alex, I just presumed that was something I was doing wrong. Basically, I'd capture the glide slope on it, and then suddenly the aircraft would just shoot up. I have no idea why. It didn't track the glide slope at all. Braden, should you ask out this girl that you've liked for a while now? Does she like aeroplanes? Uncapping Badger says, I'm really enjoying using SimBreathe for the A320. My only problem is that the flight plans sometimes give me an approach that I don't have in the FMC, like the Mersey one arrival. That's for Manchester, isn't it? I recognise that. Is that missing? It may be that, are you using the latest airlock cycle on SimBrief? That could be a thing. Alex, it shoots down for you. Oh, sounds like my book is a little bit more of a lifesaver than yours. Yeah, and Uncapping Badger says if you try other options, the flight ban does do strange things. Right, so we're about 80 miles away. We're about to look at starting our descent then, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the cabin crew will start preparing for our arrival. If you could please make sure that all the aisles are clear, the cabin crew are able to make their way around the aircraft without any luggage in the aisles, that would be most appreciated. A reminder for our Easyjet pilot members that free drinks are still available from the cabin crew until the seatbelt signs are turned on. Please note, however, that the toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Right, okay, so this is where the aircraft is deciding to turn itself around. So let's just go into selected heading mode, confirm that, and we now want to go to Gurum, or Jirum, however you want to say it. There. Try that again. In fact, you know what? Let's go direct Ogril, shall we? We know we're going to end up going to the right place then. So it's cycling through direct Ogville, direct Oddville, direct Oddville, Carres, Ribble, Uxar, Mopaz, Gurum, Osaka, Rebel, Arbex, Carres, Rez, Paphos, Karen, Zira. How many times does it put this thing in? There, Ogril and Nav. Nav mode confirmed. Let's start that descent down to flight level 080. And we'll set speed of 270 knots as well. Hello Fabi, your sim's completely broken because the screens are blurred. I've never seen that before. What was the QNH at Toulouse? 10. Oh wait, where have we gone? 1019. So we'll get that in the standby. And check that performance page because I don't think it was 1019 when we popped that in. Yeah, it's just dropped by 1 degree. There we go. Really? Good evening, sir. Who knew so many members were night owls? Farhan, do I use the Navigraph Ultimate subscription charts and FMS data? Yes, I do. So we're just checking VS 1800 blue and flight level 080. Rasmus, which version of the mod am I using? So this is the experimental version. So, our arrival briefing then, do you know what, it may actually be a little easy to show you on the VFR map just here. So our arrival briefing is we aim to be at Suraz at 8,000 feet. In fact, if I bring that up here and bring Navigraph over here, you'll be able to see it a little more clearly. So From Aspet we come to Ogril. From Ogril it's Sulit. Sulit then to Suraz, which is the initial approach fix at flight level 80. So that is then from here, and then we come around, we basically just come about, and this is where we intercept the ILS into Toulouse. So it's actually quite a nice straightforward approach, this. Aircraft is doing really well now at holding this airspeed, so that is one good thing that the new experimental version does have. Those clouds have now cleared, so we should have a nice clear arrival as well into Toulouse as well. That'd be nice. See those runway lights flashing. Mars Pub Gaming, good evening. I like the username. Oh, Willie, do you not like orange? Christian, I'm not putting that on my aeroplane. I'd get banned from the YouTube servers. Not sure what it means in your country, but it means something definitely definitive over here. Alf Mags, good evening, another channel member. You're all up late. JJ Smallpiece, your cat just bit you. Feed him more. So profile isn't looking too bad at the moment. We'll just keep an eye on that, of course. Willie, even in the dark, I think this aircraft looks tremendous. Look at that. You probably prefer it in the dark. It's not quite as, how do you say, luminous. Oh, I like that. If I get the drone camera in the right place, we get like a bit of a glare off the beacon light. Oh, that's really neat. I've never noticed that before. It's not just an instant flash, it actually glows. Cool. And the light of the moon as well, reflecting on our beautiful aircraft. Can never get enough of the graphics in this sim. Right, let's just check that we're actually flying where we're supposed to be flying, shall we? So we've just passed flight level 220. Self-logging cargo, passengers doing their thing. I can see the runway actually, it was just straight in front of us. Probably need to start slowing down a little bit more and increase that rate of descent. So, 2600 feet per minute, and spoilers deployed. This waving left and right on the custom autopilot is going to help add to our tracked miles. So, passengers on the right hand side of the aeroplane will be able to see Toulouse Airport. There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you may have noticed that we have just begun our final descent into our destination. If you could now assist the cabin crew by tidying up your tray table and handing them any litter as they come around, that would be most appreciated. For safety reasons, we ask now that you please turn off all electronic devices or switch them to airplane mode until after we have landed. Please note that the aircraft toilets are now out of use. If you wish to become a Easyjetsimpilot channel member, please contact a member of your cabin crew who will be happy to assist you. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed your flight.
So, as Alex says, we're absolutely busting the constraints tonight. Yeah, you're quite right. No speed or altitude restrictions for us tonight. It's late. We can also activate the approach phase as well. Start getting that aircraft slowed down into manage mode. And, oh, where are you going? Back to heading mode, because you're not behaving yourself. And 3,000 feet per minute. We'll get this aircraft down. No problem. Right, the ILS, let's see if that has populated. So, 117.1 is Toulouse, that's already in, and the ILS DME is 108.9. Has that gone in the RadNav page? 108.9, yes it has. Beautiful. In that case, we might be a bit too high to pick this up actually. Oh no, there we go. That's fine. Michael, am I doing a full auto land? No. The weather's far too good to require a full auto land. So the weather and landing information is all sorted, FMGC is coded in, landing elevations confirmed at 489 feet, auto brake not required, nice long runway. We've done the arrival briefing, basically we're going to make a right hand turn, which is the base, and then we'll all be on finals. We will put the terrain radar on, just in case, because there's a little bit of terrain in case we have to do a go around. Standby is all set, and we can pop our seatbelt signs on now before hitting 10,000 feet. We'll then run the approach checklist. So minimum set both side, engine mode selection norm, electronic flight bag stowed, and we've run the done the arrival brief. Let's start to make that turn round to the right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you could please return to your seats and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are traveling with an infant, please ensure that they are secured safely using the infant seatbelt harness provided. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Okay, so down to our platform altitude now of 3,000 feet. QNH is 1019. Thrust idle, open descent. We're still in heading mode. Aircraft is now slowing down to green dot speed. And where are we? We're about 16 miles out. We're going to make this base turn though. It will be nicely on profile. We can see the glide slope coming into view now. Alfmax, thank you very kindly for your $5 donation. Alfmax says, have a drink on me this weekend. Happy Easter if you celebrate. Our kids certainly celebrate with chocolate. Thank you very much, Alfmax. I shall indeed take you up on that. School holidays, there aren't enough drinks in the world. Thank you for your donation. So, flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1. And now let's see if we can arm the localizer without the aircraft going off on a daft tangent. So, lock blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing.
Lock
Please
star.
help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
And that seems to be doing a really nice job there. So here comes the localizer, Alt Star as well. We're going to capture 3,000 feet. And obviously 2 parallel runways, we're aiming for the left, runway 14 left. Radio altimeter is now alive. And just watch for that glide slope to become alive, which it is, so we'll now arm the approach. Glide slope blue. So just watch that headwind that we've got there as well. Keep an eye on that. Expect that to drop the lower down we get. And, oh Willie, that's quite ironic because the bananas I sell actually fall off lorries. And glide slope capture. That should go glide slope captured in a minute. We're still glide slope star. There we go. And Mr. Approach altitude is 3,000 feet. No, it isn't. It's 4,000 feet. Set. Okay, flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2. And it's always more difficult landing at night because you don't have any horizon. So we're about 5.5 miles away, time to get the gear down. So, gear down, spoilers are armed. Let's get the lights on. Landing light should have been on a little bit sooner actually, but never mind. Ding that cabin. And let's get fully configured. So 4.5 miles out, flaps 3, speed check, flaps 3. And flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin secured for landing. Auto thrust speed. Go around altitude is set. Ecam memo. Landing no blue. That's a little bit bumpy coming in. 1,000 feet and autopilot coming off. I have control. Tracks, auto brake not required. Decent length runway this one. And a nice moon landing approach as well. So just trying to keep that scan going of obviously what's out the window and what the instruments are showing us. We're just a little bit to the left of that centre line. Let's bring that back in. I'm feeling that headwind actually. Profile on descent is looking good. Land is now shown. Those landing lights are blinding me quite nicely. Approach is stable. Continue. Cut the thrust. And we're down nicely on that centre line. Let's get the reversers out. Decelerating. And 70 knots. Reversers off. Vacating left.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet app.
So those ground crew drivers clearly didn't want to live. Nick, what was that? Minus 36 feet per minute? That was a bit too nice. I don't know how accurate those things are, you know. Eastbirds Lee, good evening. What are you doing up? Let's get the radars off as well before we fry the ground crew. Actually, it doesn't really matter. We've already run over them. So self-loading cargo. Right, self-loading cargo actually gives us a rate of 173. Which is probably a little bit more accurate, actually. And still a very good landing. I don't think you tend to concentrate a lot more at night. Nighttime landings are certainly more difficult than daytime landings without that horizon to help you along. Will you going to reattempt sleep? Good luck to you, sir. I shall see you soon. So guys, if you are about to disappear and try and get some sleep, as I shall be doing as soon as we've parked up, then please do hit the like button on the way out for me. That would be great, and it really does help our YouTube rankings as well. So now we've turned the taxi lights off, I've got to try and find out where it is we're going. Oh, there we go. I can just see the yellow stop line. There it is. That jetway looks a bit far away though, doesn't it? Parking brakes are on. APU is running, so let's get the engines cut. Engine 1 and engine 2. Here comes the obligatory flight log. There we go. And will the jetway actually come out to us all this far? It looks like a very distant jetway, that one, doesn't it? Either way, seatbelt signs can now come off, as can the rotating beacon light. Let's put the dome lights a little bit brighter. And jetway, is it going to make it? No, it's miles away. There's no jetway there. Never mind, our pilots are going to have to jump. Okay guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this rather random late night stream. It's 1:05 in the morning here in the UK, so most certainly time to disembark, hit the hay. No B&B tonight, just a B for the bed. Thanks very much everyone for watching, and thank you to the subscribers and of course all the channel members. Who knew the channel members were such night owls? Maybe we'll do this again sometime. But thanks very much guys, I hope you enjoyed that stream. I look forward to the next one. A big thank you to all of you that have donated and contributed to all the stream. As always, a big thank you as always for the support from our channel members. If you do want to become an Easyjet channel member, please hit the join button and see what options are available. I look forward to seeing you home, seeing you in the next stream very soon. Good night.
Cabin crew, you can now disarm the doors. Thank you. Cabin crew, the aircraft is secure. You can open the doors. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, I hope you have enjoyed your flight with us today here on Easyjet. On behalf of myself, the first officer and the cabin crew, may we wish you a safe and pleasant journey from the airport, and we hope to see you again very soon. In order to increase the comfort of your next flight, please take a look at joining the Easyjetsimpilot channel, and we offer extra perks for those frequent flyers. We look forward to seeing you again